making this short video to share with you a dream that Jesus gave me the other day. It was short, but very sobering. I was shown the map of the United States of America, and it was red, and I was given this knowledge that God's judgment and God's wrath was about to be poured out. And it's hard to explain, but you know the Google Maps where like it can magnify on an area and it brings it into a small box? That's what my dream did. At one point, it brought the Western America states up into a box, and Jesus was showing me that wrath and judgment was coming to those states. And I mean, his judgment and wrath is coming to all of America, and his judgment is already here. But it was like he was focusing upon California and the surrounding states. And then I saw, which I've never ever seen before in any of my dreams, I saw Jesus Christ. And he was huge, you guys. I don't know how to explain it other than to say that I was standing on the earth in the United States, and I looked up and I could see the universe, the stars, the heavens, and then Jesus was there. And he was so huge. Just as I looked up and I saw Jesus Christ standing there, I heard a voice. It was very, very loud, and I know it was an angel. And the voice said, "All the kings of the earth will bow to the King of Kings." He was so tall, so big. And, you know, the beginning and the end. And just the knowledge of eternity and his power and his holiness and his majestic presence. And knowing that he's king of everything. Knowing that our Creator was right there. I mean, I can't even tell you. I saw Jesus, like, he was looking over the whole earth. And he had a crown on his head. He was wearing a white robe. He had, like, gold accent on his clothing. But what really struck me was, like, his countenance, his face, his heart. I mean, it was so manifested on his face. He was angry. He was hurting. And he was looking upon the earth. I had this knowing that there was going to be a lot of deaths, and that there were going to be a lot of people who would not turn to God, but then I had a knowing that there would be those who would cry out to Jesus. And it was like, I didn't see him longer than maybe 12 seconds, but there was so much in that 12 seconds in my dream. You know, like downpouring understanding of what God's heart was feeling, and just the seriousness, and just that judgment was here, you know, that God's wrath was here, and he was about to pour out upon America. I felt instantly the fear of God, which I already have the fear of God embedded in me, because I love Jesus more than anything. I follow him, I seek him with all my heart, but the fear of God severely fell upon me. It was like I was so terrified of God in that moment, knowing that he's so holy and that he was coming to judge, that in my heart I was saying, I'm not worthy, even though I follow Jesus. And then an angel said to me Psalm 103, and then I woke up and I was able to read and be encouraged to know that God pities those who fear him. So, in saying that, I was also given understanding that God was going to continue to pour out judgments and wrath upon America. And I wasn't given a timeline. I had this knowing that there was going to be more violence, more chaos, and more sin. It was like magnified so much more than the evil that you're seeing now. It was way worse, you guys. Way worse. And it happened over a small amount of time. I don't know what that time was, but I knew that God was telling me that most people were not prepared for what's coming, that most people were not prepared to stand before him and to be judged, and that most people weren't seeking Jesus. And it was this knowing that the fear of God better fall on people if they want to get right with God. Things were happening. There was going to be like strange weather patterns, earthquakes, continued sinkholes, and just chaos, right? And I had this understanding that families knew to call one another, to check up on each other, to make sure that they were okay. That kind of became the norm in America, was to check on your loved ones because something was always happening somewhere. But basically, people were doing this because there was so much violence, and people were checking on their families because of the judgments of God, and people were aware that God's presence was upon America to judge it and to pour out his wrath. So, yeah, I just felt led to share this. Seek Jesus with all your heart. God bless.